Chocolate female plugs, Kanye shrug, hitting numbers that matter.
Thanks to tune into the Black Fathers Initiative of Cleveland. Really appreciate the love. Make sure you click the link in the bottom. Like, subscribe, you know what to do. So basically this page here is just for black empowerment. This is for, a lot of stuff from Kevin Samuels, Dr. Umar, Sister Ali, Francis Westling, and many more. And basically cover topics about, the black community, things that we're going through, things that we're trying to help each other through, dating, relationships, of course, fatherhood. So this interview here was with, as you can see, Dr. Sean, but they were talking about black fatherhood and how important black fathers are in the community. So wanted to do a little reaction or a little review on this and just, cover some topics on some of the things that they say. So check it out. Don't make sure to click the link in the bio, like, subscribe, you know what to do. One moment.
Because you've written a book about raising a daughter and being a father to a little girl. And as I said just a few minutes ago, with all this emphasis on Kobe and Gigi and how much Kobe loved his daughters, the culture is talking about this. The culture is interested in it. And the culture, more importantly, is reimagining these connections. And that's why I thought this conversation was so important. Now, let me be very clear, just for full transparency. I don't have daughters.
Okay.
Right, so I don't know the first damn thing.
Okay.
About raising a little girl, right? And I suspect that here's my first question. I suspect that on some level they're different.
It is. Actually, I had a conversation about this the other day, about the difference raising boys and girls, right? And I think one of the big differences is how we approach, emotional contact with boys and girls, right? And it came out if they were both playing sports and they both lost and they both came to you in an emotional state and they were both crying, both gentlemen agreed that they would probably give more time to the girl. They would give some sort of emotional consoling, maybe like a hot second, and then that's enough to the boy. But to the girl, they would be, it's okay, I'm with you, I'll work you through this. But the boy gets a hot second, and then normally he gets, well, that's it, man up. And then he has to go take those emotions and find some place to deal with it. And unfortunately, those emotions get sunken in, right? And then it comes out in different ways. So that was one of the big ways, is just how we emotionally connect with our child, a boy child versus a girl child.
You know what's interesting? I want to ask both of you this question. Okay. What do you know now? Kofi, I'll start with you. What do you know now that you wish you had known then about being a father?
Now, before we go any further, I want to just say what he just said, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. For a little girl who's, taken a devastating loss or something like that, women are more emotional, period. They're more emotionally, they're more emotional people, period. So I'm going to console my daughter more because that's just the type of, she's a woman. I know that she's going to be more emotional about this loss. Whereas my son is not going to be as emotional about the loss. I mean, don't get me wrong, depending on the loss, he may be highly upset. And depending on how upset he is really depends on how much time I spend with him on that. Because don't get it twisted, if my son is devastated over a loss too, it ain't just gonna be, oh nigga, that's life, get over it. No, it's gonna be, hey man, look, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk to him and we're gonna work, we're gonna make sure that he understands that you win some, you lose some. You're not gonna win them all, period. But as long as you put forth your best effort and you do it as best as you can, then that's all you can, that's all you can ask. That's all I can ask for. And that's really the same thing I'm gonna say to my daughter. I'm not gonna say too much more to her, but the way I say it to her is gonna be different. I'm just gonna say it to her a little bit more softly, a little bit, you know what I mean? But it's pretty much the same thing. So, that's in my opinion, because I'm raising a daughter and a son as well. So when I think about that, I can't really say that, I'm just gonna tell my son get over it and keep it moving. If it doesn't look like it's bothering him, then yes, I'll probably be like, oh, bro, go. Oh, man, look, man, win some, lose some, keep it moving, keep it moving. But if it's something where it looks like it's really hurt my son or my son is really emotionally impacted by it, then I'm going to take as much time as I need to make sure that, he's okay.
So when she first showed up in your life, what do you wish you had known?
I was born in a country where, or in a culture, Ashanti culture, where
Ghana.
Ghana,
Yeah.
but particularly Ghana, and it's like the role of a husband or a father was just to be there and be like the disciplinary person, making sure that, you do the right thing. So sometimes it's like they're very strict and don't allow the children to even express themselves. So when I had my kid, I had the whole idea of, hey, you better do this, but these two kids I have over there are very strong-willed, so I have to reinvent myself and say, no, I can't do that because I have to negotiate with them, because growing up in Africa where kids, you can't just speak, in front of your dad. You have to be like humble and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my kids are talking to me like, hey, dad, what you're doing is wrong. Sometimes bruise my feelings. I'm like, what are you talking about? But once I learned that, hey, you got to negotiate with them. So I feel like what I know now is that I should be more patient with my children.
Absolutely.
That's rich. Isn't that rich? That's rich. Mark,
no doubt about that.
What
Patience
do you know
is a
now
virtue, bro.
that you wish you had known then?
That you have to change the picture in your mind.
Say more about that. That's rich.
So when my daughter was 5, right, I took a mental picture, and most fathers do, like, that's my little princess. So we capture that moment in our mind, but they don't stay our little princess. They start to grow up, right? So I realized that I had to be ready to change that picture out. Because now she's in the 6th grade, and she's not responding to me the same way she did, Dr. Sean, when she was my little 5-year-old princess. She's challenging me now.
Right.
There's some distance coming, but it's a natural distance. But I think it's a distance that if I had at that time realized that you took a picture when you were 5, she's 12 now, you got to exchange that picture for something current, because in the exchanging of that picture, you get to deal with her developmentally where she is at this moment, not when she was wearing tutus. So she wants to play Fortnite now. She doesn't want to watch Disney. So I'm like, but she still watches Disney. But the ideal is that I have to make that mental adjustment.
Well, it's interesting, and I hear this from both of you, and tell me if I got it right. That one of the things both of you learned, perhaps even the hard way, is that you have to love the child you have, and you have to parent the one that's there. Not the one that you have in your head, or not the one you were taught to raise, but the one you have. Because, and just respond to this if you will. How many fathers have quenched the flame of truly gifted daughters because they could not, because we could not love the child we had?
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I think that...
I don't understand the question.
I think that when we see our child or girl child, and we see her blossoming and growing in certain ways, if we are socially conditioned to say that this girl child should not be doing this or should not be doing that, I think the tendency is to work against what you should be doing to help that talent to flourish.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fathers, the beautiful thing is I think fathers are starting to challenge those social norms now, but I think for a long time, it's like girls are supposed to do this, right? If you were born a girl child, if that's your gender, if that's the gender that you were assigned at birth, these are the things that you should be doing. And I think men and fathers, we kind of held them to that. Not just fathers, though, but mothers as well, because mothers are also sort of confined. They were confined to those social understandings. But I think the beautiful thing is that we're starting to allowing the girls the space to be the magnificent human beings that they truly are.
Well, I want to come back to that. But before, Kofi, I want to ask you a question. Because
I'm just gonna hop in here, guys. I mean, these guys sound like great fathers. When you talk about, like he said, I mean, I don't know how you could think that your 5-year-old daughter is going to be the same when she's 12 years old. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. But, I guess he's saying that he thinks that she's going to stay this way and she changed. But in my experience, my daughter, when she got older, she didn't really get, I'm not gonna say our relationship got wider. Actually, I would say we got more tighter, because of the history I had already put, because of the relationship we had already had throughout her life. I've always been a part of her life. I've always been there for her for whatever she needed or whatever I needed to be at, any programs, graduations, whatever. I'm always there, always been there. Always asked her about, how things were going in school. Always been there to be a disciplinary person to, if she got out of line, definitely was there to make sure she got back in line. So, I mean, just all in all, me watching my daughter grow up, I never felt that I never got any real disrespect from my daughter. Let's just put it like that. I never got the cussing out from my daughter or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, my daughter would never disrespect me like that because, first off, she's never seen me disrespect my parents like that, as well as she just wasn't taught to be that. She just wasn't taught that. That's not in her DNA. I'm quite sure she wanted to cuss me out numerous times, but she has just too much respect for us, and it's not because it's because I earned that respect, but I ain't earned it. I demanded that respect as when she was little, and as she got older, it never changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, she knew that this is how my father is, and if I get out of line or if something goes wrong or if some shit hit the fan, I'm gonna have to deal with him, and I don't want to, so I'd rather just not even do no BS. I'd rather just stay cool because I don't want to hear my father's mouth. I'm quite sure that was the majority of the stuff she was thinking when, she was like, yeah, no, I ain't gonna do that. And not just my mouth, but her granddaddy's mouth, her grandmother's mouth, her mama's mouth. She gonna have to hear from everybody. So, you got that. And my son, he's young, he's still 6, he's growing up. But once again, I'm already instilling in him the same thing, the same type of respect. Certain things that I'm just not ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever gonna go for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, ever, never gonna disrespect me, okay? And the day that you think you will is the day that we gonna get down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. And after that, we'll be cool again, okay? But best believe, because I don't feel it, because I feel like I pretty much got a pretty good grasp on my son and, him growing up. But, once again, they get older, they start smelling themselves, and they may want to, get outside the square one day, and I'm just waiting on that day. So, so just to keep it real with you, like, I'm just waiting on that day, nigga. But hopefully that day never comes, and we never have to worry about that, and he stays in the square, and he'll be alive and well. But the day that he thinks that he can step outside the square and disrespect me, then that'll be a bad day for him. But once again, we'll just, keep it moving and finish up this commentary.
Here's the sacred part of what we're going to do, because I think the value, one of the values of this show, this program, is I'm hoping and believing that people will hear things they don't normally get to hear.
I'm not.
So I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you as well, Mark. What is your most consistent feeling as a father? Not as a man, not as a husband, but as a father of a daughter. What's your most consistent feeling?
It's like one day they're gonna leave. They're going to become their own independent self. And that, have I failed them? Have I actually built a confidence in them that they can express themselves in whatever space they go to? So I'm always constantly checking myself. Sometimes I get very angry with them when they are doing some things, and I'm like, that anger may interfere with them building their confidence. So it's constantly reminding myself that I have to be careful how I groom them, because whatever I project on them, they would think it's acceptable, so that when they go into any relationship and they are being abusive or being yelled at, they will think it's normal. So I'm constantly checking that so that I don't do that, because I know that one day they're going to be looking up to say, if this husband or this boyfriend was my father would not allow that to happen. So it's like, always doing that.
I'm about to throw my shoe at you, Kofi.
Yes,
And that's facts. Now that's a big fact right there. You definitely, and that's definitely why I, raised my daughter the way I did. And her mother, like I said, her mother helped raise her as well. It wasn't by myself, but she had a village. My daughter definitely had a village, and like I said, there would be times that she would get out of line and she would want to I don't know, stick her chest out or something. I mean, there's been times I had to snatch my daughter up in the middle of Benihana's, or in the middle of a, I had to blow down on her in the middle of a restaurant or in the middle of a shopping spot. I mean, because that's the type of parent I am, and that's what parenting is all about, in my opinion. Like, no, you're not about to get out of line right here, right now. No, if you want to get out of line, then I'm going to get out of line too. We both going to be out of line around here. But no, like he said, though, with the whole yelling at your daughters and stuff like that, that was something that I learned early, because I'm a passionate person. So when I'm passionate about something, then my voice rises. I'm not trying to yell or scream, but I'm passionate, so you can hear the passion in my voice. And I realized, when my daughter was young sometimes, and, she may do something that pisses me off, or I may need to talk to her, and I'm, getting loud, and, no sooner than I start getting loud, she starts crying. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, like, I haven't even said nothing, but because I raised my voice, she's breaking down. So I had to check that early. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I can't raise my voice at her, because she's going to take that as me not, when I'm just trying to talk to her, you know what I'm saying, to give her advice or just tell her something. If I'm raising my voice, or I'm sounding passionate about it, she may break down, and she may, you know what I'm saying, she may not listen, or she may, not like me, or, I'm saying, really, like, cut me off or something. You know what I mean? So the mentality when she was young, when I seen that, was, okay, I got to talk to her like this. I got to talk to her, straightforward, to the point. As passionate as I am, and as much as I want to yell about this or want to yell about that, I didn't. I just said it straight out to her. So if it was something about, sex, and her and having a boyfriend, I don't care what it was. Instead of me being, yelling and screaming about it, I just told it to her straight up in a regular tone of voice. And we would have a discussion about it if we needed to. We discuss it, and that'd be that. And once the discussion was over, she did what she was supposed to do. You know what I mean? So that let me know that my parenting, along with, her common sense, is, put her in a better position, you know what I'm saying, and helping her to be more successful in life and not make bad decisions, because that's really what it's all about. It's really about teaching your children to make the best decisions, because we all know what bad decisions lead to. So we try to teach our children the best decision, okay? The best decision. You got a lot of decisions out there you can make, but you need to make the best one, okay? So there's a part 2 to this, so I'm going to go ahead and get to the part 2. Once again, really appreciate the love. Make sure you click the link in the bio, like, subscribe, you know what to do. Black Fathers Initiative of Cleveland, www.blackfathersofcleveland.com. Make sure you guys check out the website. Appreciate the love. Peace.